I guess I'm just so exhausted by how many people on this planet are constantly complaining about their life. And they don't want to do anything. So I don't agree with you, like the things that you were saying, that they might not be good at it, or they might not feel like they can do it, or they might not have that grit. It's like, it's all to me just an excuse.
All of my good shit came from struggle. I grew up with no money. Every single thing I have built myself.
Your life is not complicated. You make your life complicated.
Welcome to Cake for Dinner. This is not your everyday mom podcast. We laugh, we curse, we tell the truth, and we're here to ditch the perfection culture. Paige Held, welcome to Cake for Dinner.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I think just to get started, maybe let people know what you do, and if you want to mention your podcast too.
Okay, thank you. So it's so cool to be here in person because I've been listening to you. So to hear your voice in real life, I'm like, oh my God, you exist. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me. I am the founder and owner of Yoga Joint. And it's interesting because on my way here, one of the reasons why I was a couple minutes late was because I missed my exit because my best girlfriend called me and she was like, I was scrolling on TikTok and there's somebody just bashing you and bashing Yoga Joint and they're pissed off about this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've made it. Like I've made it. I have people on TikTok mad at me. This is amazing. And she was saying that somebody in the comment section said something along the lines of like, I used to own Yoga Joint and this is why I don't own it anymore. And she was like, it's crazy now where you are and how people think that they know you and think that they know your story and think, so I love being on things like this because it gives me a chance to tell you guys my story and
who you really
are.
The
truth. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful, that I'm on here because on my podcast, I have a podcast called Watch Me Grow. It's, if you don't follow me, you don't know, like you're not going to listen and you just don't know the story. So I started Yoga Joint in 2010.
Okay.
Yoga Joint was born out of me wanting something more from where I was working at the time. I was teaching locally in South Florida, here in Boca, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, just the whole kind of South Florida circuit. I'm 47 and I started teaching when I was 19. I didn't go to college and I knew I just needed to do something so financially I could take care of myself because I didn't have a backup plan because I didn't go to school.
And was it always yoga that you were teaching?
Well, yoga and fitness. So I've always been into working out. I work out for the internal benefits, like the external benefits of what you get working out are great. But I was never like, oh, I want to look a certain way, or it was all how I felt. My one of the reasons why I love your podcast is because I grew up, my mom is an addict still to this day. My stepson's an addict. My brother's an addict. It's like it runs deep in my family. I'm sober. I don't know why I do this, but I do this because I wasn't an addict. I just quit. I socially drank. I've never even been drunk before. So I socially drank and then I was just like, I'm done. Like 3 years ago, I was like, I cannot handle this.
It's becoming a whole thing. I mean,
thank God.
I tell people when I got sober at 27, it was not popular.
I think of you. I talk about you and I think of you because I'm like, how did you do? I mean, I know you can come on my podcast and I can ask you questions about that because I have a lot of questions. Yeah. How did you do it at 27?
It was not a popular thing. I can remember my mom cut a thing out from People magazine of Ben Affleck that he had gotten sober and she gave it to me because I was so into Ben Affleck at the time. And she thought, oh my gosh, thank God somebody else is doing this. Now it's like, so many, even just affluent people are aware of the health benefits of not drinking and just how fucking bad it is for you, So it is becoming a whole thing, especially in the fitness space. So I think moving forward, it is going to just be something people do, but I'm excited to hear that you are sober.
Thank you. It's crazy that you say that about how bad it is for you. I mean, why? Why does nobody talk about that? Now they are. Like Dr. Amen's talking about that more and more people online. But I just quit drinking 3 years ago. So it's not even like that long.
Right.
And I was on, I mean, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, what was I doing? I'm pushing yoga, meditation, fitness, working out. And then I'm pushing, I was a rep for a wine company, but it was but it was organic.
But I think, if you're not abusing alcohol, people just see it as a way to socialize or, relaxing, enjoying your life, letting your hair down. We don't consider the fact that it is literally poison, right? So
Literally.
I think people are becoming more aware of that now. And I can't say that if I wasn't an alcoholic that I wouldn't want to enjoy a drink, So I think it's going to be hard for people to move totally away from it. But I think any awareness about it is positive.
I just couldn't agree with you more. I think more and more of the people I'm around say to themselves, I don't want to give it up completely like you have. Because of exactly what you just said. They want to be able to toast at their kid's wedding.
Right.
Or they want to be able to go to Napa and have a glass of wine or whatever it is. So I understand that. I'm a definite, I'm like an all or nothing person.
Yeah.
It just works better for my type of personality. Like if I tell myself I'm not going to do something, it just works better for, a lot of things you've been working on with your nervous system. My nervous system just works well with that type of structure.
Well,
and
also you don't get where you got without being somewhat rigid. You know what I mean? And I feel like that goes well when you're abstaining from something.
Exactly.
Some people just can't commit, It's funny you said the wine country. That's the last trip I took before I got sober.
And you were so young.
Right. Yes. But I was like, I think there's a part of me that knew I knew I was going to have to get married sober. Like you think of all this shit, know?
Yes.
And I just didn't want to have never been to the wine country. And I went to Napa Valley with a girlfriend of mine, drunker than anybody has ever been. I feel like if I tried to go back, they would be like, yes, no, thank you. I feel like they remember me. But to this day, I'm grateful I did it.
Yeah, exactly. So then that's a little bit of the catch-22, right? Mm-hmm. Because you wanted that experience, you had that experience, but then trying to tell somebody you don't really need that experience because in the long run, it's better. I actually, on one of your podcasts, I can't remember, on one of them, you were talking about like addiction, possibly with your children, and something about like something along the lines of like you would like to say to them, oh, it was the hairdresser, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, God, that is so true. What you said about wanting to save them from what you've experienced. But I know we can't do that. Mm-hmm. But the mother inside of us wants to be, I do that to my kids all the time. Mm-hmm. Like we have 4, one of our kids is an addict and he's still really, really struggling. He's been in and out of rehab.
How old is he?
He's 31. Mm-hmm. So he's my stepson, but he calls me mom. I've been a part of his life since he was young. So his whole life that he remembers. And it's a struggle. And what you said, I've never heard somebody say it the way you said it. And I was like, that's what it is. It's not that we're trying. I understand the woman you were interviewing was talking about control. And I get that conceptually, but my body and my heart doesn't understand that. Like I'm not trying to.
Part of being a mom, right?
Of course, like in your DNA.
Even if you're not even thinking addiction, part of being a mom is being able to like watch that stuff, and it's not easy,
Exactly.
and just whether they're going to, go to kindergarten when they're 5 and they're having my same son that struggles with alcohol, I couldn't drop him off at 5. He cried every single day. And I struggled as much then as I'm struggling now. Like I've never been able to watch him in pain or watch him struggle. And I think that, you know, the journey to that is just, you know, part of our work, right? And being able to step back and also know that that struggle creates good shit. You know, that struggle helps them. All the grit and hustle that you have to have in order to have founded Yoga Joint, so much of that came from struggle, I would guarantee. And yet we know that, and we still don't want to let them struggle. It's like a bizarre twist, right? Because all of my good shit came from struggle. I grew up with no money. Every single thing I have built myself, you know? But I look at my kids and I want to cushion everything. It's like so stupid,
true.
But,
so true.
But it's just deep.
It's
you know?
deep. I was going to say that word. It's deep within us. And my husband's constantly saying that to me. He's like, Paige, you grew up with a raging lunatic addict mother. You didn't know if you were going to wake up and she was going to be in the house or outside of the house. I would lock my door because I would wake up and I'd walk downstairs and there would be strangers sleeping on our couch. And I had a simultaneously amazing childhood and a crazy childhood. So I can't say I was on one path. It was like all encompassing. I had a great childhood. I had great family members. I had a great father, great grandparents, but there was so much crazy chaos going on. I had an uncle who was sexually abusing my cousins, like right under our nose. He's in prison. My mom was an addict, having just strangers in my house when my dad was gone. When she would go out of town, her friends would come back and tell us like the crazy things that she would do. So it was like crazy things were happening. So energetically, you feel that.
Yes.
That's why I fell in love with yoga. It's a good segue. I started yoga when I was 16 because the courts at the time, my brothers and my parents were going through a terrible divorce, and they were like, you should try yoga. And I was like, what is that? I didn't even know what it was. And they're like, oh, there's a place right here in Fort Lauderdale. You could go. And I went and took the class. And this was at the time where yoga is different now. Back then it was more like martial arts where you had to follow the protocol and the structure. You couldn't...
Like Bikram more?
Exactly. Like you couldn't walk. It actually was Bikram yoga that I took.
I cried once after a Bikram yoga class. And it wasn't a spiritual cry.
Right.
It was like literal, like my husband was like, I don't think anyone cries after this. I'm like, I was so frustrated.
Exactly.
It was so hard.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's probably not like the feeling they're looking to give you.
Well,
but
I think it's like... I don't know because I'm not Bikram, but I think it's followed this structure because structure is hard and life is hard. So if you follow this structure within the hour of this day, or back then it was 90 minutes. So within the hour and a half of this day, if you do something really, really hard and they can make you do something hard, the aftermath is that you can do hard things and you can prove to yourself.
I mean, that is pretty great.
I believe the concept of it is that, and pushing yourself to to have that type of discipline. As you said earlier, I definitely resonate with discipline. I've always said that, even though I wear this cross, I've always said that my God is G-O-D, gift of discipline. And I just work better in the structure of discipline because I definitely am the person, like, I'll talk myself out of doing something. I'll say, oh, it's not that important. Do I really need to do this? Like at the end of the day on my deathbed, am I going to remember that I missed this workout? It's like, no, you said you were going to do it. Just do it. So I work better. People think that people put their idea on me all the time. Like, oh, she's this, that, and the other. And I'm like, listen, for me, it's mental health. If I do not work out, I start thinking the craziest.
Well, it makes sense, right? How you talk about your childhood and how it was chaotic. I'm just learning about this whole nervous system thing. If yoga provided that for you, then it's imperative that you do it.
Absolutely.
That's one of the interesting things. I'll jump to this and then I would love to get back to the founder story. But one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because on social media, sometimes I don't know if you're super relatable because you're beautiful. You've got fucking great hair. You've got a cute husband. I've seen your daughter is gorgeous, right? And you own this like booming company. But when you sit down with somebody, you get to know them on a different level, and already listening and learning about your childhood and these things makes you so much more relatable, right? And it's like, I just think it's important to do this for women because social media is weird, right? You can watch it or view it, and as a viewer, you can decide who someone is. And like you let off in the beginning, it's like, let's sit down and find out who you really are.
Yeah, I love that. I get that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, I mean,
I get like,
it's not terrible to be accused of being really pretty.
Yeah, they're
right?
like, you're so pretty, you're so nice, and your family. But then, wow, you're like pretty normal. I'm like, okay, but that's on you.
Right.
I didn't ask you to put me up there. I didn't ask you to look. And what's really interesting, if you really break it down, I've put some thought into this. The one thing that I cannot control in this life is the way I look. Meaning, like my grandparents, great-grandparents, like this is genetic. I obviously work out and I get Botox and things like that. I cut my hair to like your hair to look cute. But like when I was younger and I did nothing like that, and like my daughter, who's so beautiful, she didn't choose that. So it is interesting. Like you can judge me for making money or not making money. You can judge me by my house or the car I drive because I choose these things. But I didn't, like the genetics chose this for me, and people judge me the most off of that.
I think it's a lot too that life is a struggle, right? And I think when you're scrolling social media, who knows what, like I have viewed your videos sitting on the couch eating a bag of chips thinking, geez, like this, I really got to get it together, you know? But I think it's tough sometimes. People have different lives and life is a struggle. And so whether we want to admit it or not, we're a little bit jealous when we look at someone's life and it looks either easy or perfect. And that is my whole idea around this podcast, is that let's talk to a bunch of women and sort of peel back that onion, because nobody's life is perfect, right? And it isn't so much just about the appearance. It's just like getting to know people on a deeper level.
So it's really interesting. As you were talking, I was thinking the best thing that yoga has given me is this opportunity to say, okay, I'm either going to get on this high flying disc or this low flying disc. And let me unpack what that means to me. I'm either going to say life is a struggle, or I'm going to say, thank you, universe, for this struggle, because you're pushing me to figure out something different, because the struggles are a choice. And I'm not talking about like the big, like we hear like Gabriella Bernstein say like the big T stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. Like I'm not talking about like war,
right?
Like the like big stuff. I'm talking like the day-to-day stuff that like we struggle.
Like almost more your perspective.
Exactly. Exactly. So what yoga is giving me is that every time that voice, I call it like the tormentor, comes up, yoga gives me this, don't torment yourself right now. Like what would the mentor say? What would you say to your best friend right now? So like in that moment where you're sitting on the couch eating chips and you feel like a certain way, what would you tell your best friend in that moment? Yoga, the mat, the yoga practice, it becomes your best friend. And that little voice, it's like, what would Jesus do? I'm always like, what would yoga do?
And that sort of stays with you
all day, every day. I promise to you and to everybody listening, I am no different. I have 4 kids. I have a blended family. I have a business. Every day there's some sort of shit show that comes to my door. But the only difference is that, and yogis get this, the yoga practice has taught me the discipline not to go down the rabbit hole and to go down the path that I want to create.
What do you think that is? Is it like a letting go perspective or going with the flow? Like if you had to?
It's a practice. So if you want your bicep to get bigger, you're going to pick up a weight and go like this every single day until you feel like you can't do another one. And then when you feel like you can't do another one at 10 pounds, the next day you pick up 15 pounds because you got stronger from the 10-pound one. So the best way I can describe it is that the brain in yoga, it is scientific. So you're working on the prefrontal, not to get too crazy.
Oh, get crazy.
You're working on the prefrontal cortex of your brain. So the prefrontal cortex of our brain is what we as yogis call the third eye. So the third eye is essentially the CEO. So do you want a strong CEO running your business?
Yes.
And how important is that?
Very.
Exactly. Because if you don't have the right CEO, there's mistakes made, there's money lost, there's roads going down that take you down a road that you don't want to be. So the strong CEO running your company, in yoga, you do something called pranayama breathing, you do asana, you do breath work, you do movement, you work on your spine. This is really important for you because of everything you're going through personally. Your spine houses your central nervous system. And along with everything, the blood pressure and all that, if your central nervous system is dysregulated, which look, my central nervous system, and I do tons of yoga and meditation, is still not 100% just because of everything we deal with. So I'm not saying like this is a perfect science, but it does move the needle. Yoga will move the needle. Like I promise you, it's like I have the winning lottery ticket. I promise you on my children. It's like I have the winning lottery ticket and I want to give it to people, but people just don't want to take it out of my hand.
Right.
And I don't know why. If I knew why, I would be a multi-millionaire right now, and I'm not. I would have 1 million studios if people knew how good yoga was for you.
Well, yoga's also hard, right? And I mean, in terms of people getting into it or being able to be consistent with it.
But that's the thing. You can do hard things.
Right.
So,
and it's hard in different ways. It could be hard physically, but also I think some people, the quiet in your mind part is not hard for me, and that's the part I love the most.
I love that.
But I do think that's hard for a lot of people.
But I'm not asking people to quiet their mind. I'm asking you just to show up.
Right.
That's it. Just show up for class, because it's impossible to quiet your mind. But for some reason, people correlate yoga with that. So what's happening on a physiological level is that you're breathing, which you're starting to work on that third eye, that prefrontal cortex that we spoke about. Then you're starting to calm your central nervous system. So things that you used to just trip on constantly start to just naturally fall away. And you're not even doing work. You're just going to a yoga class.
Right.
I've watched it. I've been teaching yoga since I was 19. So, I'm not a mathematician, but it's just been a long time. I'm going to be 48. And I've watched it. We have my girlfriend Kelly Green and I, and all the girls that I work with, we've taught hundreds of thousands of people yoga. And out of these hundreds of thousands of people that we've taught and touched their heart, you see it over and over and over and over. People that children died, deaths in their family, divorce, gnarly stuff that I just don't want to talk, say even out loud. They've gotten over just by showing up. You don't have to know what yoga is going to do for you. You just trust that this ancient practice will move the needle in your life. And that's the thing, is I don't know what you need to move in your life or move out of your life. I just know that if you come in and you do this work and you work on your spine and you work on subluxation of your spine and you work on breath and you work on expanding your third eye and you work on expanding your capacity to breathe, you let go of stuff and you bring in stuff. And I don't know what that's going to be. It's so individual. And that's another sort of a downfall, is that from a marketing perspective, I have yet, after all these years, I have yet to be able to I can't put in an elevator pitch what this does. Because look, we've been talking already for 20 minutes and it's I'm having this conversation with you, but I don't get this opportunity to go talk to every single person that needs yoga.
How many days a week do you think somebody
I would prefer if you did yoga every day, but if you did yoga twice a week, you would start to see shifts in your life, just on your mat. And as much as I would love for you to go to Yoga Joint, as much as I would love for you to love me and Yoga Joint, I want you to just do yoga. So I don't know if that means rolling out your mat in your living room, or if that means looking at something on YouTube, or if that means going down to the corner yoga studio. I want everybody to do yoga because I believe that it helps everybody. And it's different than your diet. It's different than what you're doing aesthetically. It's different than Orange Theory, Equinox, the gyms, all of that. Even our class Fit 45. Yes, that's great. But yoga is in a league of its own. Period.
So with that in mind, I do want to get to the founder story because I'm very excited about that. But the thing that I notice in Yoga Joint, that there are a few differences. It's shorter, so it's an hour.
I love that you said it's shorter.
I'm just wondering, like, what contributed to the format, right? So for me, Yoga Joint is a little bit more fun, and it's easier to get buy-in for me. But there are other places you go that maybe it's 90 minutes. It feels very different. The music's very different. So what contributed to the format? Like, how did you come up with that? Why did you come up with it?
Every decision that I make on the fitness side of yoga. So now my company is split into two, and we do work a little bit in silos, and I'm sure people will judge me for saying that, but the operations side, like the front desk, the management, all that is my business partner. And then all the product and the teachers is me.
Okay.
So you don't want me working on that side. He's my business partner and my CEO.
Okay.
So he does all like the ops. I meet every week with him, and he says, we're going to do this, this, and this. I might say like, I'm not sure if that's going to fly, but I trust you. Let's see. Things like that for the operation side. But my team and I are all the creative, the fitness side of the business. Yep. So every decision I make is what works for me. And then I talk to my husband, his friends, my staff, my teachers, and I get input from everybody. And they age from 20 to 60. Sure. So it's helpful to ask questions like, you're single, you're 25. What do you want out of this? Oh, I want more like R&B. Okay, well, I'm going to start. Okay, I have that in my head. They want more R&B music. And then I start to go, ask your friends. And then my kids now, they're at the age where I can ask their friends, what do you want? And then I definitely have my demographic, like women my age. And then I'll ask my husband, he's 55. What do you like about the classes? And my dad, he's 75. What do you like about the classes? What do you hate about the classes? So I just take like a constant surveying constantly. And I was doing that throughout the years. And was there a goal originally? Like, I want to open a yoga studio, but I want it to be X, Y, and Z. Yes. What was X, Y, and Z? X, Y, and Z was I wanted something where people could come, have community, have it more. The reason I chose the name Yoga Joint, which that's a whole nother story, but I would change that now. Like now I hate the name, but I can't change it. I know. So at the time I was like, a joint is somewhere where you hang, like you hang out. Got it. And then yoga is what we did. Now we do fitness and yoga because through the years, my body was needing something more than just yoga because I was such a diehard yogi. So that's how I created Fit, but we can get into that. So at the time I was like, I want something a little bit more edgy, a little bit more fun because we only had Bikram, Ashtanga. Okay. And practices like that, Mysore, which yogis will know, where I was like, I want to blend it all. I want to make it high energy. I want to make it where the music's loud. I want to make it where people can come in and be like, oh, I know this song. I like this song. I can't believe I'm doing yoga to this. Where for so many years prior to 2010, yoga was like, and still to this day, it's 2025. And a lot of times when you mention yoga, people are like, oh, this is yoga. And it's like, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be. So yoga can be fun. It can be a good workout. It can be a work in. You can sweat. People can come in and pop up into handstands and people can come in and literally do a fraction of that. And that's what I wanted at Yoga Joint. I didn't want it to be like all elite yogis, or I didn't want it to be all beginner yogis. I wanted it to be one type of flow that no matter if you were a beginner or an advanced person, you could get something out of it. Because at the time, nobody was doing that. Everybody was doing like a beginner, and the beginners only had the beginners.
Right.
And then people were doing like intermediate only had intermediate.
Right.
Advanced. And I was like, how do you get better at anything in life? How? You have to practice. And there was this stigma, like, I can't do yoga, I'm not good at it. I'm like, that's like saying I can't learn Spanish because I don't know how to speak Spanish. It's a yoga class. In a class, you're learning.
Well, it is intimidating sometimes.
I don't understand that.
I
don't understand that.
So when you are new and you go in and like the girl next to you is like in a full handstand, or logistically, you know that obviously she's done this enough times to be able to do that. Right. But it just is intimidating in the beginning for whatever reason.
But think about it. So I know that in your past life, you were a pharmaceutical sales rep. So if I today said, I want to do that today, would I be good at that today?
Maybe parts of it. I get what you're saying. I'm not actually intimidated in yoga. I just think some people are.
Everybody is.
The part that I don't get intimidated because I don't really give a shit. I get frustrated because I only like to do things that I'm good at. I was also frustrated in tennis.
Amen.
You know? So my thing is, here's where I struggle a little bit. You say you're all in or all out. I am too. So when I started playing tennis, I started thinking, all right, I think I can get good at this. So I need to go every day. You know, I started getting like really crazy. I'm the same way with everything. And so I start thinking, okay, in order for me to get good at it, how many days do I need to do it? Okay, then I start like backing in. Okay, then which days am I going to do my weights? Which days am I going to do this? If I'm at Yoga Joint these days, my hair is going to look fucked up because of the sweat. You know, it's like this is how I, you know, try to figure it out. But I think that people do get frustrated because it's hard, right? And listen, not everybody has a lot of grit, is the truth.
Amen. I love everything you said. Here's my rebuttal. When you're playing tennis, you do actually have to be somewhat good at tennis to really get what you want to get out of it. In yoga, you don't have to be good. Everybody can do, well, not everybody, but let's say 95% of the people coming in can do a tabletop position. You can do cat-cows. You can do eye of the needle. Down dog, you're going to struggle a little bit because you're tight, your hamstrings are tight, your quads are tight, your shoulders are tight, your hips are tight. You're going to struggle a little bit, but you can kind of put yourself in the position. Where in tennis, if that ball does not hit that racket, you're not getting it over. You can not be good at yoga and do yoga.
And get a ton out of it.
And still get, because you're sweating, you're breathing, and you're moving your body. And it takes about 10 classes to understand. It's like riding a bike. Probably like 10 times after you're riding a bike, you're going to be like, oh, okay. In the beginning, you're like falling down, you're scraping your knee, you're crying, you're frustrated. But there's so much growth in all that frustration because all of that is teaching your brain new things and it's getting out of your comfort zone. And I don't make these rules, but unfortunately, that's how we grow as humans. So it's a choice that you have to make. I'm just going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to feel ridiculous. I'm going to feel like I can't do this. I'm going to feel maybe inferior, whatever that word is. I'm going to feel like I can't do it. And then all of a sudden you can't until you can. And then you're like, oh, this isn't that bad.
I'd love to interview your kids. Like, I feel like
love that.
Was anybody able to say like, I don't like this, or I'm not good at this? Like, I feel like you run a tough ship over there.
Oh no. Ask my poor husband. I'm like the easiest laid back mom.
So you are more internally driven.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. What you were saying about like, I talk about cushioning them. It's terrible. I try so hard to just,
which is interesting because you ask so much of yourself.
That's what everybody says. Everybody, I mean, we've known each other for 20 minutes and you're already pegging that. Yeah. Everybody says that to me. Right. I'm so hard on myself. I don't even realize I'm hard on myself though.
Right. Well, I just can see that you expect a lot of yourself.
From me, but not from anybody else.
Right.
And that one of my best girlfriends, right-hand woman, she says that to me all the time. She's like, you have to expect more from your team and the people around you because you expect so much from yourself, but you baby everybody.
Well, they say when you overperform, they underperform.
That's what she says to me all the time. This is like therapy.
Oh shit. This is all the stuff I'm learning too. I kind of need this card.
It's so true. It's so true. And that's something I definitely need to unpack because I don't even know I'm doing it.
Like yoga, it's life. It's like you're in it and you're figuring stuff out as you go along. And some stuff you don't know that you don't know until you're in it. I mean, until this struggle with my son, I didn't really realize how much I babied him his whole life. It was so hard for me to watch him struggle or suffer. And there was so much tied to his father dying. There's so much story, right? So I didn't really realize how much of that I did until we're in this scenario and you're in family therapy and you're like, and now he's 19. But he's 19, not 40. Exactly. So it's like, you have so much time still. And I think we're all just here to learn anyway, As you were talking about yoga and it being hard and comparing it to tennis, I'm realizing that, which this is exactly what you're saying. So it's not like I just discovered anything exciting, but it's like dawning on me of how good it would be for me to be in there and be fucking annoyed. And to be frustrated. Exactly. And that was probably all the way back to the beginning was probably my experience in Bikram. And that's probably why I cried. I was so frustrated.
But when did we lose the concept? I don't know. I'm literally just asking this question. I haven't thought of this. But when did we lose the idea, maybe it's social media, I'm not sure, that like we had to be good at everything. Like what happened to like, let's just learn? And
it's really a big part of our culture. And one of the reasons I want to do this podcast, because I want to have amazing women on here and I want to know the chink in their armor. Yeah. I want to know the thing that they struggle with so that people watching and viewing can realize, like we're all out here just doing our best, no matter what you put on social media, we're all struggling in some way. And that's not a negative. We're all learning, growing, and getting better, Thank God. But I think the other question is, when did we stop trying to get better at things? Like when did we want immediate gratification? And I think one of the answers to that is just the culture. It's the era. It's the time. It's everything is like this. Yeah. And everything on social media, everyone is attractive. Everyone's kid is fucking amazing. They're all super smart. Everybody's going to this college. Everything is so exceptional that it makes it a little fearful to be ordinary in any area, And that definitely takes away from people's desire to go into a yoga class and not know how to do it yet,
Absolutely.
So I think
that's so helpful.
Maybe you should have them start the class out with listen, motherfuckers, not everybody is.
Well, we have a video that goes out and it's me and I'm just like, listen, here's the deal. You're actually going to hate me and you're going to think that this is terrible. Just keep coming back. Yeah. Because what I like I said earlier, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what anybody's going through, but I do know that yoga will help. And it's similar to the advice I give people about not drinking. Everybody in my life is like, I can't do it like you. I have to be able to drink once in a while. This is what I say. If we're going to live, let's just hypothetically say we're going to live to be 100 for easy math, because I'm not a mathematician. If we're going to live to be 100, and I'm saying for 1 year, do yoga a couple days a week. Just let that be your goal. No matter what, you're going to do yoga and not drink alcohol. Those two things for 1 year. And if you're going to live to be 100, what percentage is 1 year out of your life? Right. It's nothing.
Like a blip on the screen.
A speck.
Yeah.
So look, if you're coming to me and you're like, I'm amazing, I'm living my best life, I'm happy, I'm fulfilled. Yes, I'm human, I have issues, but for the most part, I don't need anything to push the needle in my life. I feel perfect. Okay, then I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you're having any sort of issues, problems, blind spots, pitfalls, anything, yoga and not drinking are my two things that I'm like, do it for 1 year. And what's interesting is most people can't do it. Most people can't. They'll start and they'll say, Paige, I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling so good. I'm so glad that I came to you, because I'll give advice like on my social media and my podcast, but I'm not like walking up to people and being like, hey, you should do this. Like, obviously.
Well, also everybody's so different, right? So because for you, I grew up in a very regarding fitness, a very rigid home. My dad's a doctor of exercise science. I mean, my parents are 74. They have definitely, by this time, they have both worked out. And I'm talking workout. Like if you call my dad at 6 a.m., he's so out of breath. He'll only answer because he wants to make sure nothing's wrong with me. But he's on his bike, like fucking hammering it, you know? My mom can still do the splits. They hang from a bar every day. I mean, they are intense, you know? So I grew up like that. So I have that in me. So if you say to me, go to yoga for a year, I'm thinking, shit, I might do that. Not everybody has that grit. Not everybody's born with that thing. So for people that don't have that, what I've come to know is that it's hard for them to relate to somebody who has that, right? Like, for example, I'm not super regimented or routine with work, and I'm not very organized. So with people that are like that, I'm always baffled, right? Like I feel like everything is like paid on time. They're like manicures are like scheduled. I wait till like there's like a whole nail falling off.
I was doing press-ons at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, like all of that I'm not
way.
Good with. Like shit could just be totally, yes, my feet are nice tucked under here, you see. But I am regimented when it comes to fitness. It, I think, is what I grew up with, but it also keeps me out of being anxious. So there's a huge payoff for me, but not everybody's the same. So I think it's hard for us to give advice to somebody who struggles to be regimented in fitness, right? Because they're going to look at you and say, oh, she's just so great at it, you know, but you get great at it from doing
from practicing.
Right? But it's hard because everybody's so different.
So I've never said this. Like I'm 47. I'm interviewed all the time. I've been on podcasts. I have my own podcast, and I've never said this. So I may regret this, but what's coming up, because I think this, and what I love about your podcast, and I've sent so many people, what's the hairdresser's name?
Allison Doss.
I've sent so many people that podcast, that specific one, because, and I know it wasn't even that long ago, but it was so like how she's so open and honest and vulnerable. And I always pride myself that I'm that way. Like I don't have a filter on my podcast. I'm like so out there, but she really gives people permission, and you do the same, that's what I connected about you. And so I've never said this before, so I might regret this, but because you curse and you're so vulnerable and just authentically who you are, this is what I'm going to say. I might regret this.
We can always edit it out.
Okay, well.
if it's terrible.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I guess I'm just so exhausted by how many people on this planet are constantly complaining about their life. And they don't want to do anything. So I don't agree with you where people like the things that you were saying, that they might not be good at it, or they might not feel like they can do it, or they might not have that grit. It's like, it's all to me just an excuse. And I just feel like, I am telling you, yoga specifically is different than tennis. Tennis is going to give you a dopamine hit. Scrolling on your phone is going to give you a dopamine hit. Going and taking that dance class is going to give you that dopamine. Eating healthy, watching the shows that you love to watch, being around the people that you want to be around, like all that is good. yoga is going to change your life. And that's all I can say. And like all the excuses that people have not to do it is just an excuse to me. It's just an excuse, but I don't know how to say that to them. Like here, we're comfortable, we're having a conversation, but in an elevator pitch, I can't be like, listen, if I have to fucking hear you complain about your fucking life one more time, I'm literally going to jump off the fucking bridge.
You should probably just say that, because here's the thing. I think people shy away from who they really are in an effort to please others or to fit in a box. And what I have found is this. I did that I didn't do it very well. I'm not very great at hiding who I am. But as a pharmaceutical rep, I couldn't roll in like guns a-blazing. It didn't really fit the mold. But I have found that I have made so many more connections, even just through this, of just being myself. And as I'm listening to you say that, I'm thinking you have to meet my dad, because that is his whole spiel. And I grew up with that voice, right? There is the component of mental health, and some people just are made different. And I feel like struggle with the just get out there and go and do it. But I do ultimately believe that those are excuses, right? They are what you got to call them what they are.
Yes.
Right. I think you'd be better served just saying that because that's how you feel, and that is the truth for you. And people are watching other people because they're trying to get somewhere, trying to emulate that. And if you're not giving them the real spiel, then they're like trying to emulate something that isn't even really how you feel. So if you're on there saying, good morning, hope you guys really get out there and let it shine. And maybe you should just say, get the fuck out of bed and
exactly.
and get in your pose. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just get there.
Just get there. And I like that too. Just get there.
Just show up.
Right. Because the good thing about yoga too is that if you just use that concept, if you get there and you're like, you just don't have it, you could lay down the whole time.
You can stay in child's pose.
And you still could get something out of it.
That's what's so different. That's why people go, oh, well, no, I do Pilates. I'm fine. I'm like, no, you can't go into a Pilates class where there's 13 people. That's it. And lay there. They're not going to allow that. But if you go into a yoga studio, or if you're at home and you're just listening to the person and you lay there away from your phone, away from your children, away from the distraction of your significant other, away from your parents, away from whatever, work, whatever it is, you're going to move the needle in some direction. So you're
advocating for almost more of a feeling rather than
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. You're not getting this from my Fit 45 class. You're not getting this from the Orange Theory class. You're not getting this from the Pilates class.
I think that's what's missed in your message a little bit, because when people hear you, right, they're thinking fitness and they're thinking, yeah, of course she says that. Look at her, right? But you're not even advocating for that. You're advocating for nervous system reset, taking time for yourself,
I say it all the time.
Stillness.
I say it all the time. Guys, you're a mess. You're a mess.
Right.
No offense. No offense. But you're coming to me, and I talk about this all the time. I'm like, especially women. I'm like, ladies, I know I'm going to strike a chord with you right now. But you're coming to me and you're on Adderall, you're on Ambien, you're on Lexapro. These are your three things that 99.99% of the women that are coming to me opening up, and I get it all the time. All day long on my DMs. I don't understand. How do you not drink? How do you not take Adderall? How do you not? It's yoga. I am no different than you. I am no different. I have 4 kids. I have a business. I have insecurities. I mean, it's like I'm in full-blown menopause. Like I have all of it. It's the only thing that you have. The only thing that I have that you don't have is I go to yoga. So all I'm saying is that maybe, I don't know, but maybe that's your missing puzzle piece. Link. So all I'm saying is that I feel
like I'm sold.
You're in my DMs. So all I'm saying is that do it for a year.
Yeah.
And they're like, I can't. I go, then please stop contacting me. because I can't
I
hold your
get this
hand.
because you have the thing that's worked for you. It's not like you can whip some solution out of your ass. You're saying you came to me because you feel this way. Yes. I'm saying I have felt that way, and this is the thing I used. Yes. I put it in, and this is the results I got. So you're saying
I've taken Adderall, I've taken Zoloft, I've taken Ambien, I've done all that. I drink myself to sleep all the time.
You've been stressed.
I have an addict son still to this day. We are in $200,000 in debt with his business right now that we've put into. Like, I have all of that. I talk about it. I tell them, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
But your solution is yoga. Yes. So it's like, how many times can you say the same thing?
Yes.
But this makes sense, Paige. I think when you really lay it out like this, you're welcome. Because I feel like we've really gotten somewhere.
Yes. Long form.
Yes, but it makes so much sense. And I love that you're this passionate about it. I love it when
for so long, since I was 19.
Right. Well, it's kind of like when I got sober, I felt like this about Alcoholics Anonymous. Like I wanted just to like go around and like say, just tell people like, clearly they must not know, you know, maybe they don't understand or maybe they don't know. And I've been sober 23 years. I can't tell you how many people, women have come to me with the same problem, which is addiction, right? I only have one trick, which is sobriety. It's not like I can come up with 9,000 ways to do it. And people will even over the years kind of hammer me on, oh, she thinks this is the way, or, you know, she's so stuck on this. I'm not stuck on anything. I just did one thing that works. So it's the only thing I can advocate for, right? It's not that I think I know. It's just that I can only advocate for the thing that worked. So that's how I feel about your yoga practice, is that you know how many problems it's solved for you. So it is the platform from which you feel passionate to speak from.
And I feel the same way about the alcohol too.
Yeah.
The same way. I mean, it's actually, I say this all the time. It is so simple. Just take it out of your life. It is. What happens is that we all want to overcomplicate everything. We want to think that life is so hard, and it's actually not. Unless you have real problems, like you're fighting a diagnosis, like you're fighting an abusive marriage, like you're fighting like a death, like real stuff. I keep going back to that because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking most people that were around here in Boca, here in Fort Lauderdale, here in Miami, the women that our kids are in, the moms that drop off, like these people, like your life is not complicated. You make your life complicated. It's not that complicated. So stop drinking, start breathing, start moving your body.
And start doing yoga.
And start doing yoga.
Maybe this could be a commercial.
Yes, thank you. Exactly.
I really love it. Let me see on my card here. So what about female friends? Like how important are they in your life? Do you have like lifelong friends?
Yes. So I've had the same friends my whole life. I've had issues with female friendship because I'm putting this on myself. My belief is because I had a void because my mom and I don't have a relationship. So I have this story that I tell myself that I've worked on all these years, that like the one woman that was biologically programmed to love me didn't. So I sought out female relationships that weren't healthy for me. But my core group I've had my whole life. The friendships that I've had like on the outsides, I never really went well because it would always be like, oh, they made me feel a certain way. And I was trying to get something fulfilled in my life because of the way they made me feel. And then as I realized like, okay, this is probably not healthy. This relationship is not healthy. So through the years, I have had women that I'm not friends with anymore because of my viewpoint of it and my like unhealthy perspective on our friendship. But otherwise, I'm so lucky. I have very, very, very small group. Most people think I have like tons of friends. And it's interesting, if you like go through my social medias or you know me, like I don't. I'm not the one posting with the huge group of friends. I'm not the one like at parties with huge groups of people. I know a lot of people, and people think they know me. It's different.
Sure.
People think because they go to Yoga Joint or they've been going to Yoga Joint, they know me. So a lot of times, like my staff gets bombarded daily. We have 16 locations, opening one like every couple weeks at this point. They go, oh, I'm best friends with Paige. Oh, I went to high school with Paige. Oh, my brothers, uncles, dogs.
Did you grow up here?
I grew up here.
And where did you go to high school?
I went to Cardinal Gibbons in Fort Lauderdale.
I grew up here. I went to Spanish River.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was born in Fort Lauderdale at Holy Cross Hospital, raised, like never left.
Wow.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I would imagine that, like, to be the founder of a place. So there's a lot of people who, so you're dabbling sort of in relationships, but your primary girlfriend friendships are deep and long lasting.
Yes. Thank God for these women.
Thank God for these women. You never know the value and the necessity until you start to, I think you get in your 40s.
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure. Thank God. I am so grateful for these women in my life. And they hold the mirror up. They just tell me, they tell it like it is. They don't
How
sugarcoat.
receptive are you to that? Like, how open are you to hearing how it is?
I'm so open. That's like one of my best qualities is like when you were saying things like, oh, you should do this. I'm like, just tell me. Like, just tell me, please.
Right.
God, tell me. Like, somebody tell me what to do. I'm just, because I'm the boss, and in my house, I'm kind of like, I'm
You're the mom. So.
Yeah, the mom, and I'm making the decisions, and where are we going, and where are we going on vacations, and what are we having for dinner, and you know, all the things that we do. So I love for people to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I want hacks. I want life to be easier. I don't want to make stuff more complicated, and I'm human, so I do. So if you see something in me, and that's fine. Like, if I feel triggered, it's okay. Like, we're allowed to feel triggered. And typically if I feel triggered, it's because I know I need it even more. And that's another thing yoga teaches you. Like, yoga just teaches you all of these life hacks. Like, in the pose, if you're uncomfortable, it's typically because you need this pose. There's something that's blocking. So you need to push energy through it. Like, that's like metaphoric.
Maybe there should be more of that on social media, more connection to what yoga really means, but in a relatable yoga joint voice, you know?
Yeah.
Because
it is
there's
something that we're
so
working
much,
on.
there's so many gems there.
It's the hardest part is getting it in that elevator pitch.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like, long form, if we were out having coffee, I can talk about it. Even if we're at a bar and I'm sitting there having a mocktail and you're having a cocktail, I can talk to you all day long about yoga. And a lot of times, like, you're interacting with it and you didn't know that this conversation was going to go this way, but you're also thinking things, and then we're talking and we're unpacking. That's how it always goes. If I could talk to every single person that has an interest in going to yoga, I could most likely get them to come.
Right.
I don't know if I could get them to stay, but I could get them to come take a class.
You could definitely get them to come. I'm definitely coming as a result of this podcast. What about your marriage? So is this your only marriage? Okay.
Yes.
And you've been married a long time.
Yes. So we didn't get married until after kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought that, I don't know, like, looking back now, I'm just like, I was so like, there's a lot of things I look back. I'm a Gemini.
Me too.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
May 22nd.
Okay, I'm June 16th. So I definitely resonate with a lot of the Gemini qualities. I get like very set that I'm going to do. The only thing that's ever been constant in my life is yoga and my job. Everything else, and obviously being a mom.
Right.
But everything else, like, I've gone from one extreme to the other in certain things. And for some reason, I was just like, I don't want to get married ever.
Did he care?
No, not in the beginning. It was the kids that were like, can you guys get married? Like, yeah. I think my youngest was like, I don't remember, like 7 or 8. And she was like, can you and daddy get married? And something meant something to her.
Was it fun doing it at that stage?
Yeah. Cause well, first we got married here and my brother married us. Just the kids were there, and it was like, and he had already been married. So for him, he just didn't care either. We were both like, we're good. We don't need to get married. And then the kids were like, you guys should get married. We want you to get married. And then when we got married, my brother married us here in Fort Lauderdale, and then we went to the Abacos and did we eloped, and it was amazing.
I feel like there's something to waiting to get married. Nobody's gonna do that, but I just think it's just like everything else. It's like if you get your education at 20 and you get it at 40, it's just gonna mean something different later. I can imagine that the vows there was just more, because there's more life, right? There's so much happens in a marriage and with kids and being able to. We were
blending a family, so that was even more crazy. But I love being married, and I think that if we didn't get married, we wouldn't be together. So the marriage meant all of a sudden it meant something to me, where we had a really, really big rough patch, shortly after we got married, which was interesting. And we went for 3 years rough, and we were talking about divorce, and I was like, this is crazy. I don't want a divorce. I don't know why that meant something to me too. I was like, I didn't even want to get married in the first place. And now I'm married, and now we're talking about divorce. This is a no. And then when he wanted out, I was like, no, that's just not an option. And then when I would want out, he was like, no way. I wanted out and you said no, and now we're working through it, and now you want out. That's not happening. So we got lucky, because when I wanted to leave, he didn't, and when he wanted to leave, I didn't. So I think if we didn't have that piece of paper, which seems so crazy, but it meant something to both of us at a certain time in our marriage, I think we wouldn't be together. When we say that, we probably would have, if we were just if there was nothing to break, no divorce, no house, because we were renting a house, we weren't married, we had the kids,
right?
But
so
still,
it's easier to.
Yeah, in theory, it's easier.
What do you think saved you guys or brought you back?
I think just the fact that when he wanted to get a divorce, I did not.
But how did you guys mend? Was it a change in communication? What's the
therapy?
What's the secret?
Helped tremendously, and just so. We think that his children have repercussions from his divorce. And we would talk about that a lot. We didn't want to he didn't realize that he was doing these things to his kids, because that's how it works, Yeah. But we were we learned, we didn't want to do that to Michael and Taylor. And versus Mac and Kella, my stepkids, they really had some gnarly repercussions of the divorce and of their marriage. And we were just he would be I just don't want to do that again. I just don't want to do that again. And then at the times where he wanted out, I would be remember when you said that and our marriage wasn't bad. It was superficial stuff. He likes to go to bed late. I like to go to bed early. I know that sounds so silly, but
no, but that's the shit.
Exactly.
Right? I feel like every marriage goes through that. There's the days you're just I don't even know if I fucking like this guy.
Exactly. And it was things like that.
But part of marriage is a commitment in that you make a decision to ride life out with this person forever and ever. Amen. And then you go through periods I'm in a period right now with my husband where I am so in love with him. I am so I feel I got so lucky, even going through this fall, and when you go through something heavy, or the thing with my son, the way he walks me through life and stands by me is so unbelievable. And when you're young and you sign up for a life, I just thought he was good looking and sweet. Okay. I had no idea he was going to show up this way as a father. And I had no idea he was going to show up this way as a spouse, because I didn't anticipate these issues, and you just don't think this stuff through. But I think part of what makes marriage special is when you just hang on through everybody has those periods. You're talking about the 3-year period. I've had those. I would imagine most married couples do. I think people bow out too quickly,
So
it's yoga.
I ask people, see, it's all the same, right? It all goes back to yoga. Don't bow out too quickly. I got on a kick a couple years ago, and I would ask people that were more our parents' age, that were divorced or on their second or third marriage. And I would say, out of curiosity, I want to ask a couple questions. Okay. And I would ask them, if you could go back, like what's different, blah, blah, blah. And they're in great marriages now. And every single one of them. And I asked for a couple years, I asked multiple, I mean, probably 50 couples at this point, men and women, I would say, if you could go back to your first marriage, and every single one of them said they would have just stuck it out. Now, you had the one-offs, like there was abuse.
Right. Or both parties, my girlfriend's getting divorced right now, but both parties have to want to stay in the game. You know what I mean? And, but I think that there's just, again, back to the whole social media thing and you know, like on social media, people look like they have a perfect marriage, a perfect life, a perfect this. And when you're at home comparing yourself to that, it's a death sentence, because you're not reading the chapters that were fucking hard.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And so that's, again, why I think this is so important. And not that everybody has to air their dirty laundry. I interviewed a woman in LA named Caroline. I don't know if you follow her.
I watched it. I love her. I follow her.
Right. So she talks about, you know, she really showed her cellulite, you know, on camera.
Although she doesn't really seem like she has it anymore.
Right. Well, so she like full on showed it. Right. And I'm not saying you have to show your cellulite, because maybe you're comfortable doing that. Maybe you're not. But what I don't think you should do is show your ass without cellulite if you have cellulite. Right. So either don't show your ass or but just be authentic.
Right.
You know?
Right. I see what you're saying.
And I think that that's really where, you know, people can grow and from watching and viewing. And when it comes to marriage, I don't think you have to show your fights or talk about, you know, this horrible thing that happened, but I don't think you should have this fucked up marriage offline and then put your Christmas card.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure.
There's definitely something in between. And I don't even care about it for the person and that they're not being honest. I don't care about that. I care about the viewers. And I think if we're all interested in everybody as a collective being happier, healthier, and, you know, less anxious, if we lead with a little more authenticity, I think we contribute to that. That's kind of my whole jam.
I love that. My podcast is, I was telling you offline, has kind of, in the beginning, it was all like entrepreneurship. I was interviewing my board members and my staff and my investors, things like that. And then it's slowly, for whatever reason, it shifted to my husband and I, and we talk about anything and everything. And it's actually been a way for us to get closer, and it's been so cathartic for us, because the funniest stuff comes out that like I didn't even know that he felt, or vice versa.
He's pretty funny.
He's the best. But I feel exactly, not to take your thunder, but I feel exactly like you. I feel like I just hit the lottery, and I fell in love with him for similar reasons. He was good looking, he was a doctor, he was a dad. He was so kind, but I never thought that he would be by my side. I mean, I could not do life without him. I wouldn't be the woman I am without him. I'm definitely not like I can do it all. Like I literally can't do anything. Like it's so bad. I'm like, babe.
Me
like,
too.
Sometimes I'm like, Paige, like you've got to get your shit together, because I'll be like, how do you do the remote? Like, how do I? And he's like, what's the Netflix passcode? Like, I'm like, babe, if you fell off the face of the earth, God forbid, I would be totally screwed.
Yes.
Because he is the rock of our family. He's the foundation. He was there every night putting the kids to bed. When I was working, I was sleeping at my first location in a blow up mattress, working like 100 hours a week. I was never there. I mean, the kids would say to me, Mom, my son specifically said, Mom, before you know it, I'm going to be Mac's age. That was his older brother, my stepson. And you're just going to work my whole life away. And now he's 22, and I remember those days, and I think like, oh my God, like it was just so painful that I constantly chose work over them. But I had my husband there.
And you're also on a mission, right?
I was on a mission.
What was the first location? Deerfield?
The North Fort Lauderdale location.
Got it. I've never been to that one.
Yeah. Deerfield came along a little bit later. Yeah.
Okay.
Deerfield was like my 4th or 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's next for Paige?
So we just, over the weekend, we just opened up our 16th location. We're opening 17, 18, 19, 20, like any day now they're opening. And
is it all in Florida?
Right now, we just sold the franchise rights for New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Atlanta, Austin, Houston, Dallas, LA, Northern California. So there's going to be like 80 locations like popping in the next couple of years. So we're here, we're just about to explode. So all the deals are signed. Now we're working through like LOIs and getting all the real estate and all of that. So
good for you.
Thank you so much.
And what about personally? Anything like
there's so much. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I have a lot of growth around organizational skills and things like that. We've just hired an organizational health coach. I talk about her all the time on my podcast. She's changed my life. I
should have her on.
Oh, she's in New York. She's amazing. Actually, she's going to be on my podcast. And when she's here, maybe she can get to you.
Okay.
Because she's phenomenal. She started her own company. She does it for companies, not for people. Yeah. But you can hire her to come in. It has been life-changing because even though it's for the business, it's shifted the way personally I communicate. I didn't realize I was a horrible communicator, and I was a huge part of a lot of dysfunction at Yoga Joint because of who I am naturally. I didn't realize that that's a tricky part about authenticity. Like, I had a lot of bad habits. It was authentically me. But it was bad habits in the workforce that translated into Yoga Joint.
Sure.
So she's been amazing. I'm like, oh my God, this is mind blowing. Like, I didn't realize I was the problem because of my leadership skills and the way I was, like how I was being. But this is a quick little example because people might be confused listening. A quick little example is my director of operations is this woman named Adrienne. Adrienne and I, outside of work, a lot of similarities. I love her. She loves me. Okay. In work, I would be like, what in the actual, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, I hate you, literally. So I would say that to somebody who works for me. Not realizing that makes them really uncomfortable, that I'm essentially talking about their boss.
Right.
But I just think I'm frustrated and I'm venting because that's what I do. I speak my mind. I tell you what I'm thinking. And then now they're going and telling their coworker and the founder, the owner, she hates the director of ops. I didn't even put it together that would be like low vibration or bad for my company. And it was like a cancer and I was the cancer. And she comes in and I'm thinking like, oh, I'm a great leader and I'm going to do all this right. And she's going to be like, wow, you're great at this. Like, you've built this successful business. And she was like, okay, so here's the thing. You're doing this. And I was just like, oh, and it made so much sense. Like,
but how humbling.
It was.
I do think, to your point, you said that's one of your best attributes, that you're able to take in information. You'd have to be good at that because I would imagine that wouldn't be well received with everyone.
That's what people say. Here's the thing. I was never really good at anything. So I'm not used to being great at things, and like, I don't have that in me. Like, I got terrible grades. I barely made it through high school. I was not the straight A student. I was not like, I was pretty and I was nice. So those were my like attributes growing up. And I'm a natural influencer. Like, I'm like, oh, come with me. Let me introduce you to this person. Oh, you want your hair done? Oh, I'll connect you with this person. Like, oh, you like that jewelry? Oh, I know this person.
Right.
Like, I'm just naturally like that, like a people with people. But like, I was never really great at things. So I don't have that like competitive, like,
right.
I just don't have that. So if you want to tell me what I'm doing wrong, I'm like, okay, good.
Great,
because
thank you.
I never really, So I think there is, when I have friends of mine that are like, oh, my kids aren't doing great, they're struggling in school, I'm like, that's fine. Like, they're going to be just fine. Like, you don't have to be a straight A student. You don't have to be great at everything. Like, these are the people like me. Like, they're going to be great. in life. Like they're gonna succeed because they don't have any expectation.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, it does. And times are changing, you know.
Yeah.
There's many different ways to skin a cat these days.
Thank God.
It's a very different world.
Thank God.
So if somebody wants to find Yoga Joint, how would they go about it?
So Yoga Joint has a million socials because every studio has their own social, but the main one is just Yoga Joint on Instagram.
Okay.
And then I'm Paige Held, my name, Paige Held, Held. Paige Held, Yogi, Yoga, because I'm a yogi, Lift, Lift, because I lift weights.
Okay.
And then, I just got on TikTok, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's Paige Held, Yogi, Lift, and that's all.
There we'll find you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
So
and
much.
I look forward to coming on your pod.
Yes, I was just going to say we can finish on my pod.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.